Hi folks, we're joined for this special little video by Nick, who has been doing an unbelievable job leading on the planning application for the Packhorse. Huge amount of work involving many professional advisors as well. And that application went in essentially, last Friday.
Yeah.
So it will be up on the Baines website any day now, and what we wanted to do is get Nick to sort of essentially talk us through the main elements of that planning application.
Right, well, we thought it might be helpful just to walk you through the plans, because it's been quite a journey over the last couple of months as we've looked at the Packhorse and tried to work out how we can fit a sustainable pub operation within a very old and very precious building in Southstoke. A couple of the key things just to look at is that, first of all, obviously car parking. We've looked very closely at putting some car spaces and come up with a plan to do so within the bank, just to the north of the access road. If you remember, Old School Hill runs north to south down here, and then what we're going to do, where people used to park on this area, we're going to make a cut into the bank and put a retaining wall in there, and that'll give us 6 car spaces immediately adjacent to the building. As you'll probably know, around Southstoke the ground conditions are difficult, so we've had to do geotechnical surveys of this area just between the Priory wall and our new car spaces, and we've come up with a strategy which is safe and will give us some immediate parking in the curtilage of the building. Okay, and just moving on to the building itself. So because of the fact that a commercial kitchen can be pretty destructive to an old building like the Packhorse, what we've done is in conjunction with Baines planners, we've worked on producing a kitchen extension. This is on the lower terrace for those of you that know the building well. There's a garden, a sort of lower garden here, and that's where we'll be putting a timber framed kitchen, which will have its extract going up through a chimney here at the south end. The kitchen itself will actually extend into the lower ground of the Packhorse. I don't know if any of you have ever been down there, but it was once used as the kitchen, and there will be a dumbwaiter at the north end, which will then take food up onto the ground floor and then onto the first floor, which we're bringing into active use for the pub. Just in terms of the layout downstairs then briefly, as you can see, we'll have a beer store, a couple of food stores, a food prep area, a cooking range. There'll be an island in here as well, and then there's the dumbwaiter situated at the north end, and that's a critical part of the design of this building. Okay, just moving on. As you look upstairs, the dumbwaiter will come up on the right hand side of the bar. So for those of you that remember, the Packhorse bar sat just to the left of the cross passage. So this is the front door to the pub. You come in, and there used to be a glass window here and lots of drinking going on around here. Well, the dumbwaiter will come up in part of that area, and the bar will be extended slightly into this, what's known as the Saloon bar to the left, and that was the room with panelling and the gas fire, if you remember. That room will remain substantially intact, although we do hope to work with the council to make the most of the 400-year-old fireplace that we've just found behind plaster in the saloon bar. On the right hand side over here is the public bar, which you'll remember has the Inglenook fireplace in it. That bar will stay substantially the same, although as with the whole building it'll need rewiring and replumbing, but we'll be certainly looking to retain as much of the character of that room as we possibly can. Okay. Moving on again, we move upstairs to the first floor, and in some ways I think this is the most exciting part of the project, because the first floor, which is shown here on the plan, was never used as part of a public space before. And we've got 2 great rooms up here. On the left hand side, the south end, so you are coming up the spiral stair onto a landing, which is as was before, and the kitchen used to be in this core in the centre of the building. That will now see the dumbwaiter coming up again, so it's sort of the 3rd floor that it will have been on. And there's also some WCs, which everyone will be glad to know that you'll be able to use WCs inside the building this time and not outside. To the left is a small room, which is a dining room, but it's possibly one of the most characterful rooms in the pub. There's a wonderful original fireplace on the left here, and we see this as a room where you'll be able to come and sit and work in the day or have a drink before supper at night. It's a bit away from the main bars downstairs, and hopefully a bit quieter for those who want that sort of setting for the evening. To the right as you come up the stairs will be the main dining room, and at the moment this is 2 rooms. There's a partition straight down the middle running north to south, which is a breeze block partition and can be removed. We'll then have covers for circa 18 people up there, and it'll be a good facility for people to be able to hire out as well if they want to have functions in the day or in the evenings. Okay, and finally in the building, we're up at the top floor now. This is the stair that's run all the way up the building, and this is where the manager's flat or the chef's flat accommodation will be. And it's quite simple. There's a 1-bedroom on the south end, a shower facility in the middle, and sort of kitchen dining space at the end. It's actually a very nice flat. It's got 6 windows. This one at the moment is blocked, and we'll be looking probably to unblock that one. Okay, just moving on now to the external spaces, and particularly the pub garden. Here's the pub, here's the Packhorse. Front door off the main road is to the right here. And we're really grateful for all the work that Tom Chapman and Alex Keane have done in really trying to work out what is the right solution for a historic building, but also the needs of a modern pub. We're really delighted with the plans they've come up with. Essentially, it retains the topmost terrace, which is grass and planted around as it is now, but that is supplemented with some trees and benches. We're also working hard to try and use the tradition of people sitting outside the back door of the pub, which used to happen a lot. So we're showing some paving there going up onto the existing path, which goes up and out towards the South Stoke Plateau. Just below that, we've got a much bigger flat area, because as you may know or may remember, this area was broken up into a number of terraces. So now we have a large dining area. I think it's worth saying that we're showing probably too much density here, too many tables, but essentially there'll be a paved, and this, although it shows grass, it'll probably be paved dining area, and then maybe a smaller grass dining area to the left. We're also trying to bring into play the bottom of the garden, which was probably too steep and uneven to be used, and we're looking to terrace that out a bit more with removing the breeze blocks and creating a nice hill here for people to sit on, whilst there's also play area for children just below. I hope you found that not only useful but exciting. We're certainly very excited about seeing life come back into the Packhorse, and we feel like we're getting close to touching distance. There's obviously a fair way to go with fundraising, so encouragement for everyone to push on that note. But we just also like to take this moment to thank all the consultants that have often given their times for free to help the project along. Bruce Clark from Nash Partnership Architects in Sydney Buildings. We've got Jeff Stott from Man Williams. We've got Simon Cale and Kerry Griffiths from Nicholas Pearson Associates, who've helped us with ecology, because we do have a resident lesser horseshoe bat up in the top floor which needs accommodating. I've mentioned Alex Keane and Tom Chapman as well, so many thanks to all of those people.
And Nick, I think I should say on behalf of all the shareholders and friends of the project as well, a huge thanks to you, mate. I think what you've pulled together in the last few months has been it's been a tremendous amount of work. I've seen that, and it's a real big debt of thanks to you.
Thanks, Tom.